Hey guys, Jake and James here from Flawless Films. Welcome to another Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi video. Although I suppose technically this is an Episode 9 video. So, yeah, obviously Star Wars was out this week, so it goes without saying that we're going to be talking about Star Wars. If you haven't seen our review already, check it out. It's probably on the side somewhere or on our channel. Maybe a link, who knows. But today, cutting to the chase, we are going to talk about 9 potential theories for Episode 9. The so far untitled Episode 9.
Yes, it was all a dream, Episode 9.
Yes.
Possibly.
Episode 9. It never happened. Yeah, fingers crossed. So, if we just jump straight into it and go for theories? Yep. Okay, first theory. We'll go with Snoke.
And the theory would be that he's still alive. Because in all honesty, why would they have built him up so much to have killed him off that quick for it not to matter? There's obviously something more to it. He's probably going to come back badder, angrier, more powerful, and wreak havoc. And now they don't have Luke to defend them. Yeah,
the way we're looking at it is, if they are going to bring him back, the best way to do it would be the way they, the way Luke handled himself at the end of this movie.
Yep.
Spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we've seen that Luke could project like a force image, ghost hologram thing, and make himself look a little younger, a little fresher. And if you compare Force Awakens Snoke to Last Jedi Snoke, he looks a little fresher in The Last Jedi, right?
Yep.
So, you know, it is possible that perhaps the entire version of Snoke that we see throughout The Last Jedi is actually a Force ghost, you know, a la Luke, kind of how he did it. But he just did it for a long time.
Because there is one little bit where, obviously, it cuts back later and his legs are still on the chair and then they fall off. And that's like quite a long time after everything's happened. So that's quite a weird point for this to happen. So they might have Snoke just being like to Hux, like kind of a hint or something. Don't really know. There's people saying different things, but there are little hints to show that he has just done what Luke's done.
Yeah. If they're going to bring him back, that's probably one of the only believable ways they could do it.
Because there's things that basically he did it all as a test for Kylo, and to make Luke basically commit suicide so he can come back with the one person who he might be slightly scared of gone.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, we'd rather him not have just been killed in this one. So, but if they're going to bring him back, which I wanted him to be in Episode 9.
I feel like if they were going to do it, they should have hinted towards at the end of the film. I'd like some kind of hint there somewhere. Maybe Hux, he communicates with Hux or something. Just something little to show that that he's there, rather than probably wait 2 years.
What do you think of that theory, that possibility? Do you think it's likely? Is it possible? Is it impossible? Let us know. Moving on, theory/possibility number 2. Kylo Ren lying to Rey about her parents.
This has to be true.
Surely this is...
I mean, there's arguments both sides. You can argue that the whole idea is there's a new generation of Jedi who it doesn't matter where they come from. You don't need the big Skywalkers, Kenobi names. That is shown that the Force is still out there within these little children, as shown at the end of the Last Jedi. Also, Force Awakens. But at the same time, it seems way too much for that to be Rey. They've hinted so much about her parent, like her heritage. No.
Yeah. But why get everyone so excited and give all these different hints? Like there were hints that Ezra and
I don't know,
the Mandalorian girl from
Sabine.
Yeah, that's it. From Rebels could possibly be her parents. There were hints at
the
Han Solo.
From Battlefront.
Yeah, they're going to Battlefront 2 storyline. Han Solo, Luke, Obi-Wan, the Emperor, Palpatine. Like, there's been so many theories, and I would have been more satisfied with any of those than her having nobody as parents.
Yeah. So
it just seems like building all that up and giving us all these ideas every time. So it just seems like building it up and giving us all these potential ideas of who her parents are. It doesn't seem like a very good strategy because the way they did it is... It doesn't seem like a very good strategy because the way they did it is always going to lead to disappointment. Oh my god!
Which would you prefer, listen to this for 2 hours or watch The Last Jedi?
Can't even remember what I was saying there. Yeah, so basically the way doing that, building us up to something that could potentially be so good and then dropping that they're nobodies on it is always going to be disappointing. And the reason that they've done this so many times throughout The Last Jedi, which is the main reason why everyone hates it, they hint at these cool things. Like they hint at Luke training Rey in the trailers and Seems like a mysterious badass, and then he's a pussy broken old man. So that's half the problem. So hopefully in episode 9, the possibility of it being revealed that Kylo Ren was lying this whole time, and actually Rey's parents are...
They are an alarm. That's what they are.
So they could actually be somebody that we know, that we're familiar with. I think it's the better way to go. And they can still change that. So that wouldn't be too much of a disappointing outcome if it was like, yes, he was lying to try and turn you. That would be fine.
Okay.
Hopefully that's a true one. Moving on, number 3.
The Force Ghosts are going to all come back, team up, and destroy the First Order.
Now this one has to happen because, let's be honest, they've shown that Yoda can inflict damage in the real world from wherever he is, his Force world. Which, if you're going to show something like that, everyone's going to be like, well, why don't you just fight the First Order? There's no risk to you. Why waste all these lives when, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, potentially Anakin, now Luke, could all potentially team up and just wipe out the First Order with no risk to anybody else.
Yes.
So, it has to happen. I mean, why else would you show it? Because it was another bad decision. Obviously that's not going to happen, but why show us otherwise? Stupid Rian Johnson. Next!
Will Rey be training the new generation of Jedi in episode 9?
Yeah, so she's obviously now potentially the last Jedi, now that Luke's gone. And at the end of the movie we see this kid use the Force to certainly bring a broom to his hand. Why else would you show that if you're not hinting at the next generation of Jedi? There's obviously more Force users out there. Who else is left to train them? Unless you're going to bring back the Force Ghosts and have them train them, it's most likely going to be Rey.
Yeah.
Maybe with the help of Luke. Maybe he's going to be like, I should have trained you from the start. I'll make up for my mistakes by helping you train the next generation.
They could go two ways though. They could do a time jump, and then it's Rey been training these kids for a while, so they actually start to build up almost a bit of an army. Or they could go, the whole point is she needs to survive so she can train the next generation by the end of episode 9.
Yeah.
So they got two ways they could go towards it, but realistically one of those is almost definitely going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like they're very likely, because why else would we have that last scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one.
Yeah.
It's going to be true. So moving on, number 5.
Number 5 is to do with Poe. And basically he's going to be taking over from Leia.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious throughout the entire film that Poe is being built up to be the next leader of the rebellion, or the resistance, but they seem to have gone back to rebellion. Yep. Personally, I don't like this. I don't mind Poe as a character, but the way they use him is being kind of rubbish. So
see, I love Poe's character, and maybe in that position he might have a bit more substance to him.
Yeah.
So it might improve on him. But the issue with him becoming that character is, where does that put Finn?
Yeah.
So it might help Poe build up, but it's going to knock Finn to the side even more.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Yeah, I mean, that's a very likely one, because it was hinted at all the way through the film. So we'll move straight on from there. Number 6.
Love triangles.
Yeah, segue on from where does that leave Finn? It leaves him trapped in this triangle with Rose and Rey. If you remember, at the end of episode 8, we see Finn covering Rose over with a blanket or something, not long after she has just kissed him. And then they show Rey looking over and watching as that happens. That's obviously hinting at jealousy, because obviously Rey and Finn were very close throughout The Force Awakens, and always
spent the whole Last Jedi trying to get Rey back.
With my friend Rey, I need to be here for Rey when she's here. Yeah. So
my friend Rey.
Yeah. And you remember in Force Awakens where he's like, do you have a boyfriend? Is there a boyfriend? That whole thing. So there's obviously a connection there between them. They are definitely a love interest for each other, but now Rose is being put in the middle. So I'm anticipating some kind of love triangle dynamic in episode 9.
Basically replacing Luke, Leia, Han, finding out they're related. Kind of during when they're finding out they're related as well.
Yeah, that is true.
Basically, going for that again.
Yeah, which could work, could also suck and be more filler. We'll see.
Yeah, it could just destroy Finn's character completely with any relevance.
If that's his role in episode 9, is dealing with a love triangle with
I feel sorry for John Boyega.
Oh god,
he deserves it.
He does. So, but still probably likely. Moving on to number 7.
What will happen to the First Order? Well, there's a few things that could happen. There's the one idea that Kylo Ren is going to become too crazy, as he was kind of shown to be getting more and more in The Last Jedi, and that he's going to lose all faith of all his followers. General Hux is going to try and, take over, is a better word. and do that. I complete mind blank on what I was saying now because I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, so it seemed pretty obvious throughout, I think, both of these films, First Order, Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, that none of the First Order particularly have a lot of respect for Kylo Ren. They fear him because he obviously has this, mysterious power, the Force. But because he's constantly going nuts and acting like a stroppy little teenage girl, none of them seem to respect him. And he's, when he's conceded Luke and he's ordering them to all fire at him, he just seems to just not have a rational thought process and just act on emotion, which isn't going to get him far as a leader. And I think Hux and maybe I would have said Phasma, but and some other senior officers or generals or whatever are going to probably confront him, and I imagine he's going to kill them. He'll go a bit Vader-y,
Yeah.
and kill anyone that confronts him.
Yep.
Which will hopefully bring up his, what's the word I'm looking for? Not respect, but make him
Stature.
Yeah, make him more fearful, make him a more evil, intimidating villain like Vader was. Because at the moment, Kylo Ren doesn't live up to the level of villain that Darth Vader was, let's be honest. So, yeah, there's going to be some kind of dodgy dynamic there.
Okay. Number 8. That many.
Yes.
What returning characters might we have in the next one? They brought back Yoda. They had chances to bring back other characters, but will they have just put that off to bring them back in the next episode?
Yeah, there's so many characters that we know that are still alive from the originals, potentially even from the prequels, that we don't know where they are. Like, they could be dead, they could not be dead. For example, Lando. Where is Lando?
He's too much of a eccentric character to be sitting and not getting involved.
Yeah.
He wouldn't just ignore everything going on as the kind of character he was.
Yeah.
Unless he's going to get a one-liner off-screen death.
I really
like Akbar.
Like Akbar, yeah. Lando is a really easy character to bring back in this current structure of how they've gone with the movies. He should have been brought back in the casino planet scene.
Yep.
That was just the ideal opportunity to bring him back instead of giving us a useless character in Del Toro. Who else we got? Characters like Mace Windu. You could potentially bring Mace Windu back.
Samuel L. Jackson has quite clearly said he'd happily reprise the role.
Yeah.
And how awesome would that be to see him come back?
That'd be awesome. I mean, we know Jedi's can fall very far distances, so there's never really been 100% confirmation that he died. Yep. George Lucas even once said that he was okay with saying that Mace Windu survived in a conversation with Sam Jackson, apparently. We've also got Obi-Wan. Obviously, he's dead. We know that. But is Ewan McGregor especially going to reprise that role? Are we going to see him as a Force ghost? We've seen Yoda. Why wouldn't we see Obi-Wan?
Yep.
It makes a lot of sense.
And in that same breath, you could talk about Qui-Gon. Liam Neeson obviously says he's not going to do any action stuff, which might roll out his whole Force ghost taking over idea. But he could come back as a Force ghost just to basically stand there and give some words of wisdom, as he was the first one to do it. It would make sense he was seen as a Force ghost in a film at some point.
You could have Obi-Wan telling Luke stuff, and then Qui-Gon telling Obi-Wan stuff, and then Yoda telling Qui-Gon stuff, and we'd have like this pecking order of Force ghosts leading right down to Rey. So why not? Yeah, so possible returning characters. That's a few of our ideas. What do you think? Any
the way Star Wars goes, they do like to bring them back, so it's a good shout that
Boba Fett, maybe? Boba Fett, did he survive the Sarlacc? We don't know. No. Okay, finally, number 9. The Knights of Ren. Now, this is another thing that many people have complained about, many people were disappointed with, including myself. Were you disappointed?
Massively. Another thing they built up, and there was no payoff.
Yeah, I mean, they potentially could be so cool. And I think if they're going to bring him in, now is the time, because you've got Kylo Ren as the Supreme Leader. And like we said before, link him with our 7th theory / possibility of the dynamic and the structure of the First Order with Kylo Ren as the leader. If all the Hux and whatnot are going to turn on Kylo, he needs his own backing. And who better than the Knights of Ren? They sound cool, they look cool. I'm sure they're all more powerful than Hux and some stormtroopers. So
it'll basically be his Red Royal Guards.
Yeah, Episode 9 is a cool way to bring them in properly, and I hope they do.
Yes.
So I imagine that's what's going to happen. He's going to use the Knights of Ren as his backing and his fear factor to deter any betrayers, essentially. I think that's pretty much it.
I mean, I can think of one bonus one if everyone wants a bonus one.
I thought of a bonus one as well, but go on.
BB-8 is Snoke.
Oh, yeah.
Think how much BB-8 was able just to do everything at the moment. he's Snoke. He is the one in control of everything. He's playing them all like puppets.
Yeah.
BB-8 is the one.
He is the one. He's the one to bring balance. Okay, my bonus one, just quickly thought of it at some point. Are we going to find out how Maz Kanata got Anakin's lightsaber, Luke's lightsaber?
Yeah.
Because we see her very briefly in a stupid scene in The Last Jedi, but we don't get any explanation to how she came about the lightsaber. Even in Force Awakens, she says a story for another day, or something like that. So I'm assuming it's a good story, and I would very much like to know how, because there was a hand attached to that the last time we saw it. So.
Oh, and another thing, sorry, that just reminded me of another one, to go back to the point about Rey's parentage, is Han Solo and Maz, when they're talking in the first one, they make it seem like Han knows who she is. That is another big hint that the parentage is someone important.
Yeah.
Side note.
Yeah. So you end up getting kind of like 11 theories there. Yeah. So, how much do you agree with these? Do you think they're possible? Are they likely? Are they impossible? Are they stupid?
None of them are stupid.
Surely not more stupid than what happened in episode 8. That's for sure.
Nothing more. It couldn't be stupid if you had 5 Force Ghosts destroying the First Order and finally attacking the amazing BB-8, Supreme Leader BB-8.
It's not as stupid as Yoda using his lightning in this one. So, okay, thanks for watching.
Don't remember to subscribe to the channel. We've been loving all the comments in our other Star Wars videos as well, so please keep that up. Keep up the conversation.
We had well over 1,000 comments in the last day or two, so that's awesome. Thanks for talking to us. It's been fun. Thanks for agreeing with us. That's also been fun. Thanks for watching. Live long and prosper. Goodbye.